Hello, welcome to the Executive Byte. My name is Kyle Rowland. Today we're going to be touching on one of everybody's perennial favorites, the idea of estimating. Now, when I think of estimating, I think of the old school prehistoric version of, we put together a Gantt chart, we collect a bunch of tasks, we lay out the dependencies between the tasks, and we put in specifically how many hours we think we're going to take on them, and then we have a group hallucination about the exact date and time we're going to finish something in 8 to 12 months. So there's a lot of bad wrapped up in that, but there's an underlying thing that people are looking for when we talk about estimates, and it's not so much estimates per se as it is having a target that we can all kind of stay in alignment with, give us some marching orders, a direction that we're all heading together as a business, and maybe even predict a little bit what our customers should be looking forward to along a certain path. And so really from that, we need more of forecasting rather than really estimating. Now, estimating is a way to forecast, but we don't need to be doing such granular work in order to get that outcome we want, which is a general vision of what the future should look like. What we should do is think sort of in layers. At the highest layer, we might have a quarterly set of things that we want to accomplish, get everybody in the room, have everybody stick their thumbs up in the air and get a rough gut check of, yeah, we can have this done this quarter, next quarter we can have this done, and then call it a day and move on. Getting down into the lower and lower levels, one important one to think about, now there may be, 1, 2, or 3 layers of sort of projection and forecasting between this, but when we get down to the point where we're looking at actually writing code for the stuff that we're building, we've had this idea of story points in the past, and the idea was we got things concrete enough so that we could actually start talking about how many things fit into a sprint, and thus how many things we could get done in a couple of weeks. Really, the more advanced way to do this, and the one that takes the least amount of effort and will sort of streamline your process, is really to break everything down to trivial. So if you want to think of it in terms of story points, everything should be one point. It should be user focused. So we're not talking about, I'm going to build this database table, but I'm going to build this really small slice of user functionality. And then that way we get to the point where we're just simply counting the stories we can do in a single sprint. And that gives us a lot of our projection. So the 2 takeaways from this is that as you're looking at projecting, really, again, we're pulling away the principle of projection away from the idea of estimating. You really have a couple of big tools. And the first one is think of it in layers. So if you're really long-term projection, you don't want to spend a lot of effort on. So do those as little effort as you can spend on them. And then as you get more and more granular down to the point where you're actually about to deliver something, make them as concrete but as trivial, the groupings, as you can. And again, of course, keeping everything at the user value slice rather than thinking of it in terms of technical slices. So that's today's Executive Byte. Hopefully it was helpful for you and moving you forward in your journey. My name is Kyle Rowland. I look forward to seeing you again next time.